Hi, on the Woodpecker today, I'm still working on the foundation. In the last episode about my new shop, I've dug up the yard, made some concrete forms, and poured the footing. Now we have to prepare the plywood by stapling a plastic sheet on the side that will be in contact with the concrete. This way the concrete won't stick to the wood and the cleaning will be faster. When we had the bunch ready, we started to make the forms for the walls. To hold both sides together, I cut a bunch of threaded rods to 14 inches long. Then I drill a hole across the two 2x8 and bolt plywood. Then we installed the threaded rods through those and locked both sides with a washer and a nut. This was repeated every 2 feet to hold the form firmly and keep both sides parallel to each other. Then we continued to create the walls. To be honest, it took us 2 days, and on the second day our son came to help. Finally, we installed a bunch of braces around the forms. I was nailing the braces inside the hole, and René was cutting them outside. In the end, we installed a lot. I didn't want any problem. I even added some of my footing posts on each corner to strengthen it even more. The next morning, the concrete was being pumped inside the forms. When it was done, I took care of the top. The next day, we removed the forms. It was almost perfect, but we had a mishap on one corner. After thorough investigation, I realized that we forgot to install one nut on the inside, so the corner was not bolted properly. This was not the ideal spot to forget a nut. Look how much pressure the concrete exerted on some rods. It's really amazing to see how much some washers and nuts were pulled into the wood. One thing for sure, the plastic made the unmolding operation a real charm, and the concrete looks great. Then our son came to help us with a friend, and they got all the plywood sheets out of the hole. Meanwhile, René and I were removing the plastic sheet and cleaning the small amount of concrete stuck to the plywood. Then they brought the clean sheets back to the kitchen. I'm so glad they're back in there. We really missed them. Next, we cut the exterior threaded rods. The next morning, we smeared some tar on the concrete. Then the backhoe guy came and dug out the ditch for the electricity and water. While he was digging and I was filming, René was cutting the rest of the threaded rods. I had to let go of the camera to shovel some sand to cover the water pipe, so the door cutouts can rest flat over the water pipe. This way, the water pipe will be even more insulated from the frost. This ditch got filled up as quickly as it was dug up. Then I laid door cutouts around the walls over the footing. Again, this is done to insulate the footing even more. I know that 4 feet is supposed to be enough, but I don't want to take any chances. To cut those door cutouts, I used a metal cutting blade. This made a darn good job, even better than the factory cut. Then I installed a perforated drain pipe around the shop so the backhoe could backfill the exterior of the shop. With a smaller backhoe, he dug up a smaller ditch to evacuate the water around the shop. Meanwhile, I'm hooking up the water pipe. Then it was just a matter of finishing the backfill. The next morning, it rained again, and we installed the interior wall styrofoam anyway. Each piece was drilled and placed over the threaded rod. Before anyone makes a remark about the badly installed styrofoam, I must say that the 1.5-inch one fit perfectly into one another, but the 2 inches were badly cut. Take a look at the half lap. It's not even in the center. Finally, René screwed the styrofoam in place and cut the protruding rods straight with the nuts. Finally, the dump trucks came and emptied their sand load in my backyard. Then the sand is moved inside the structure. At this moment, I was forced to go to work, but it looked like this when I came back in the evening. The interior was filled with sand, and the outside clay was covered with a small coat too. This is way better than it was this morning. That's it for now. Come back soon to see the next chapter on the Woodpecker.